Alright, boys. 7th day of June, right after 6 p.m. We're going to look at this Manticore with this M8 Coil. We're going to look at that HF2 on that Deus 2 there, okay? With version 3.03 beta. Now, I didn't purposely. I went in the house and got that fake Spanish bit that I dug about 4 or 5 miles south of where I'm standing. The second non-ferrous target I've ever dug with the biggest call on the Equinox. But I bought it. I didn't even use it. I got it later. Second target dug with the Equinox, and I've even got that baby on video. You can go watch it. Alright, of course, you know, there was this idiot from Michigan. He said I didn't have any Spanish bits around me. I live too far inland. Well, I've dug silver ones down there too. There's one of them right there. But that's a nice find, even though it's a fake one. It's probably harder to find a fake one than it is to find a real one. How about that shit? Now, there's been some people put comments in my videos when I've showed these two machines. Now, that is a beta version in that machine. Okay? But I just want to show you this little test here. And all I'm going to run is all-terrain low conductors on this machine, and that is a low conductor. You see what color that thing is? It's green. It's a low conductor, but it's not round. That one itty bitty nail elevated above it there. But now I've got 3 over here, all square nails for a reason. Okay? We're going to leave this machine in 23 sensitivity. This is not a depth test, okay? Depth audio. Excuse me. Max pitch. Okay, external speaker maxed. Winds are not too bad out here. You see the mode? We will noise cancel again. We'll look at some different speeds. Upper ferrous limits number 3. That's what we're going to look first at this target. Okay, no iron stabilizer on. It's at 0. We are in multi-frequency. This is a no bullshit video. You put whatever stock you want to put into this video. I'm not telling you to buy this machine. I'm not telling you to buy that machine. Okay? So you see the depth audio there. We'll look at it first in recovery speed 6. But remember, I'm at upper ferrous limits 3. See these nails here? You hear that shit? So if you went into a high-ass iron sight running this machine at upper ferrous limits 3, you're probably going to hear a lot of those nails right there. But we're going to listen to this target at upper ferrous limits 3. And we're going to listen to that machine over there in the 53 kilohertz band, sensitive program, silencer 2. And I'm going to sweep those same nails with it. What do we see here? Speed 6 first. You know the settings on this machine. I'm going to do a long press noise cancel. I've done looked at this. Alright. So you see that right there. No lower in it, just upper. Okay, horseshoe button. We're going to mash it. Now I'm coming down the hard way, and I'm cheating that call from about 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches. What do you hear in that machine? Okay, now I'm going to rotate. You see where that call is at? I've rotated a little bit, probably 20 degrees, at least. No signal. I'm bringing the call up. I've got the call down. Now, that machine over there is going to be running speed 2.5 only. I'll back the speed off on this one to 5. So right there's a tinge of signal. I mean, just, it ain't nothing I would probably stop on in the wild. But remember now, I'm still pivoted. If I come over here the hard way, slow sweep and fast sweep. Now I'm going to turn over here. Now I'm pivoted around it a little bit. You hear anything? We're going to go to speed 7. That's upper fast limits 3, but remember, I've got signal on them nails. You hear that shit? Okay, so now I'm going to come around here. Now I'm pivoted around some more. Okay, now we've got signal right there. Okay? Now I'm turning around a little bit more. See what happened to it? It's gone. I'm going to pivot back. See? And we get it here. That's not a problem. But the hard way and coming around that target. See, I'm pivoting around that target now quite a ways. No signal. I'm coming on around the target. I get signal. That's speed 7. Okay? We're only going to show that machine over there in 2.5. Okay, again, the nails. You hear that shit. That's what you get in this machine. When you go on that high iron sight running, that right there. Now, what if I go in here and bring this down to 6? Okay? Now, we're still in speed 7. We're at the hard way. We don't get nothing. It's going to be worse. Now, I'm coming around the target. You see where I'm at right there? You see that coil? 0. Listen. Nothing. Now, I'm going to come on around the target. I get signal right there. Okay, now I'm back. Here's the hard way again. Now I'm coming around the target. So I've got signal there. I'm going to rotate a little bit back to the right. Nothing. That's upper fast limit 6. Upper fast limit 6 and a high iron sight with this machine might be tough, but it's a lot more doable than upper fast limit 3. Okay? Now notice right here, upper fast limit 6. Horseshoe button is in. I'm going to take it off. Slow sweep. I'm cheating a call. Upper fast limit 6. You don't hear anything in that machine. If I rotate the easy way, slow sweep, fast sweep. Now the call sweeps I did in this video were everything from 1 inch up to probably around 5 inches with this detector, okay? So I'm going to turn this one off. Now remember, I showed this detector the first way with upper fast limits 3. Those are deemed unusable settings by me at a high iron sight. Maybe you can use them, but I can't. Unless I want to go in there and just keep digging nail after nail after nail. But we could detect that at upper fast limit 6. We could even detect it at upper fast limits 8. I didn't show that, but we would have to turn on that target. But what about this outfit right here? Okay, we're just looking at the sensitive program. 6.8 is the Deus. Silencer 2 is all we'll look at. Sensitivity, I'll leave it alone. The 53 kilohertz band, 2.5 for speed. I'll even leave the audio response alone, okay? Now, it is in default 3 tones, and I may change that, but that's where it is right now. Okay? So I'm over these nails over here. I'm sweeping those nails, silencer 2, 53 kilohertz band. Now, it didn't noise cancel in the 53 kilohertz band, so I'll noise cancel it. It come on, I believe, in the 89. I'll go back and double check to make sure we're in the 53 band. We are. You see that. So we'll go back over the nails. So we don't get there what we got with that machine at upper Ferris limits 3, did we? Okay, so now we're going to sweep the machine. Speed 2.5. The audio response is still at 4. Now this is the hard way. You hear that? So I'm getting signal by cheating this call a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to rotate on the target just a little bit. You hear that signal. Now I'm going to come over here past the easy way again. Listen. Now I'm turning back to the right. So we're getting signal there. Some of it's even one-way signal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to raise the audio response to 5. Going to change the tones on this thing to pitch tones. Now we're still at silencer 2. This is the hard way. You hear that? That's the hard way. I'm going to turn a little bit. This is the easy way. You hear that? So I'm going to come back over here a few degrees from the hard way to the left. Listen. So I've got some signal there. Just out of curiosity, let's just see what channel is this thing, and it's in channel 1. Okay? We never did hear that with that machine in upper Ferris limits 3 or 6, did we? That right there, the hard way. And when I turn on this target, just a few degrees. Remember, it's still hard even if I turn on it a few degrees. I got an airplane come over my head here. I can hear it. All right. Hear that? I'm going to come over here. All right, now this is the hard way here, so I'm going to turn just a few degrees. You hear that? See, that's two-way signal right there. That machine wasn't giving any signal from that angle right there. And here's the hard way again. That's about 4.5 or 5 inches of call height. You hear that? Now, we're going to come back over here on these nails. All right. Now I'm going to come back over here the hard way again. You see that in that call? In that camera, right? That's 4.5 inches of call height right there. Good solid 4+ inches. Fast, sweet, boom, boom. All right, now I'm going to take this fake Spanish bit out of there. The nail is still laying there. That's an old, sort of a flat square nail. We don't have what we had before, do we? It's gone. Okay? Now, that's just a 53 kilohertz band, all right? I'll give you a close look at this fake Spanish bit. You see it there. That's exactly the color it came out of the ground, boys. And I knowed it was a faker when I laid eyes on it because it wasn't shiny. So that's a distinct difference on these two machines on that test. That's all I can say, okay? That's all I can tell you. Now, how deep would I expect this machine to maybe locate this Spanish bit with that nail in that orientation elevated slightly above that Spanish bit in the ground. I can't say. I can't say. But there is a difference in these two machines. I can run more iron rejection with this machine and hear that the hard way versus that machine. I can't even ever get it at upper Ferris limits 3 the hard way. I rarely use that machine over there with any coil on it lower than upper Ferris limit 7 in a high iron sight. But maybe you do. That's going to conclude the video.